Let's be honest, life these days often feels like a whirlwind. From the moment we wake up, we're juggling responsibilities, ticking off tasks, chasing deadlines, and setting goals. Yet despite all the hustle, doesn't it sometimes feel like we're just spinning our wheels, like we're moving but going nowhere? The constant noise of everyday life, combined with our own inner battles, can be incredibly draining. Mentally, emotionally, we feel exhausted. It's as if we're chasing something just out of reach, like running after a mirage in the desert. We push harder, strive more, but true peace, real clarity, it still escapes us. But what if I told you that the answer isn't in doing more or going faster? What if the key to real mental fulfillment isn't about achieving everything at once but about focusing on just a few powerful habits? Habits that help you slow down, breathe, and truly take back control of your mind and life. That's what we're diving into today: 10 Stoic habits that are simple in concept but profound in their impact. These are not abstract philosophies floating above real life. They're practical, grounded tools you can start using right now. They'll help you develop calm, gain focus, and feel a deeper sense of purpose. And who doesn't need more of that? So, if you're feeling overwhelmed by the chaos, or simply tired of being mentally pulled in too many directions, this is your moment. Get ready to rediscover your center. Let's explore the 10 Stoic habits that can help you reclaim your peace of mind and create true mental fulfillment. 1. Accept only what you can control. Let me ask you something: how many hours, maybe even days, have you spent worrying about things completely outside your control? Be honest. Whether it's someone else's opinion, tomorrow's weather, or how a situation will unfold, these are things you simply can't influence. Yet we often pour our energy into them as if our worrying alone could make a difference. It's a trap. Really, a mental trap we all fall into. We try to fix things that aren't ours to fix. We attempt to control outcomes that were never ours to command. And in the process, our energy gets drained, our peace gone. But the Stoics, especially thinkers like Epictetus, reminded us of a powerful, liberating truth. We cannot control what happens to us, but we can always control how we respond. Imagine this: you're stuck in traffic, horns blaring, people shouting, minutes slipping away. You have to choices: tense up, fume, and curse your luck, or take a deep breath, accept what's happening, and choose calm. Which one actually helps? The Stoic approach is beautifully simple. Instead of obsessing over the uncontrollable, shift your attention to what's within your power: your actions, your thoughts, your responses. These are the levers you can actually move. And when you focus on them, you reclaim your power. Now, this doesn't mean becoming passive or detached. It doesn't mean giving up on your goals or relationships. It simply means not wasting your emotional and mental resources on one that's out of reach. You channel that energy inward toward making clear, intentional choices. The Stoics lived by this mindset. They would often pause in moments of frustration and ask themselves, what is within my control right now? And then they'd act based on that answer. Say you're dealing with a tough situation at work. Maybe the outcome is out of your hands, but your approach isn't. You can stay composed, act with integrity, and focus on your contribution. The result may not be perfect, but your peace of mind will be intact. It's about being proactive with your energy, not reactive to the chaos around you. The more you live by this principle, the more freedom you begin to feel. You'll notice Your mind is less cluttered with worrying. You'll feel lighter, more focused, more grounded in the present. So, ask yourself today, what am I trying to control that I simply can't? And more importantly, what is fully within my power to change right now? When you start answering that second question more often, you'll feel a shift of weight lifting from your shoulders. Because in accepting what you can't control, you begin to truly master what you can. Your mind, your actions, your peace. 2. Practice self-discipline, everyday self-discipline. Now, that's a word that can feel heavy, right? But don't be mistaken. It's not about denying yourself joy or living like a monk. It's about building the mental strength to make choices that truly serve your growth. Think about it. The gap between where you are now and where you want to be. It often comes down to one thing: your ability to stay disciplined, especially in a world full of distractions. Notifications constantly tug at your attention. Social media, endless scrolling, another episode autoplaying before you know it. Hours vanish. It's not that you lack intelligence or ambition. It's that staying focused in this noisy world takes discipline, real, daily practice. And that's where Stoicism shines like a lighthouse in the fog. The Stoics believed that true freedom comes not from doing whatever we want, but from mastering ourselves, from choosing the harder path when it leads to growth. So, how many of your daily habits are actually aligned with the person you want to become? Be honest. Do you grab your phone the moment you wake up? Snack when you're not even hungry? Delay the task that matters most just because it's uncomfortable? These little actions may seem harmless, but they quietly shape your identity. Over time, they carve the path you're walking on, either toward your best self or further away from it. Seneca, one of the great Stoic philosophers, once said, "No man is free who is not master of himself," and that couldn't be more true. Today, self-discipline means knowing when to say no even to things that feel good in the moment, and when to say yes to what serves you long term. It's not about harsh restriction. It's about wise intention. It's about recognizing that your time, your energy, your attention, they're precious resources, and how you spend them will determine the life you build. Let me know when you're ready for me to continue writing page 2 in the same tone and style. Two, practice self-discipline every day. Let's be real. Discipline often sounds like a strict rule book, doesn't it? Like it's about denying yourself joy or being constantly rigid. But that's not the heart of Stoic discipline at all. It's not about punishment. It's about choosing your future self over your present impulses. It's about developing the inner strength to stay focused even when distractions are loud, tempting, and everywhere. Think of self-discipline like building a muscle. You don't start by lifting heavy weights. You start small, with consistent effort. Every day, over time, that effort compounds. The same principle applies here. The more you practice discipline in little things, the stronger and more reliable it becomes. So, where do you tend to slip? Be honest with yourself. Is it waking up on time and not hitting snooze 5 times? Is it sticking to your workout plan? Or be it staying focused at work instead of getting lost in endless phone scrolling? Identify these small weak spots. That's the first step. Then commit not to perfection, but to improvement. Pick one area, just one, and decide to act differently today. For example, instead of checking your phone first thing in the morning, spend 30 quiet minutes with yourself. Meditate. Write down your goals. Reflect on your values. Or take your fitness goal. Instead of saying I'll start tomorrow, set a specific time to move your body today, even if it's just a 10-minute walk. Action beats intention every time, and small, consistent actions beat grand promises that never come. The Stoics believed that discipline, practiced daily, builds not only willpower but wisdom. They weren't expecting perfection. They understood that we're human, that we'll stumble, but they valued the direction, the steady progress toward mastery of the self. Every time you choose discipline over distraction, you strengthen your character. Every time you resist the short-term pleasure for the sake of long-term growth, you step more fully into the person you're becoming. And then something interesting happens. What once felt like discipline begins to feel natural. You're no longer forcing yourself, you're choosing the path willingly. Why? Because you see results. You feel the pride, the quiet confidence of someone who follows through, who honors their own word. So today, don't wait for motivation. Make one decision that requires discipline, no matter how small. Stick to it, then do it again tomorrow, and again, because each of those choices is a brick. And brick by brick, you're building a stronger, more focused, more resilient version of yourself. 3. Stay calm in the face of adversity. 4. Embrace discomfort and personal growth. Think back to a time in your life when you truly changed, when something inside you shifted. Was it during a smooth, comfortable period? Probably not. More likely, it was during a moment of difficulty, a challenge that pushed you to your limits, forced you to stretch beyond what felt safe. Growth, real growth, rarely comes wrapped in ease. It often arrives disguised as discomfort, whether it was stepping into an unfamiliar situation, taking a risk you were afraid of, or enduring a hardship you didn't choose. Those moments, painful as they may have been, shaped you. They deepened your character. They revealed strength you didn't know you had. And it's exactly that kind of discomfort that the Stoics believed was essential for becoming your best self. Marcus Aurelius, one of the greatest Stoic thinkers, said it best: the impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. That one line carries a world of meaning. It reminds us that obstacles aren't simply things to overcome, they are the path. They're not roadblocks, they're stepping stones. What stands in your way, the very thing that will build you. Stoics saw discomfort not as a curse, but as a powerful teacher. Whether it's the physical strain of a difficult workout, the mental resistance when learning something new, or the emotional discomfort of facing your fears, they all serve a purpose. They stretch your capacity, they forge resilience. But let's be clear, embracing discomfort doesn't mean seeking out unnecessary suffering. Life already brings us enough of that. What it does mean is this: stop running when the hard things show up. Don't avoid the tough conversations, the awkward silences, or the heavy truths. Lean in, sit with them, let them teach you, because when you stop avoiding discomfort, something shifts. You gain calm, you gain power. The Stoics believed that if you could learn to stay steady through discomfort, you'd be ready for anything life throws at you. In practice, this might look like finally doing that thing you've been putting off, applying for the job, giving the speech, starting the project that scares you. It could mean choosing the stairs instead of the elevator, resisting the unhealthy food craving, or facing your emotions head-on instead of numbing them. And one powerful Stoic practice: daily reflection. At the end of each day, ask yourself, what did I do today that made me uncomfortable? And how did that make me stronger? Make discomfort your compass, not your enemy, because discomfort, more often than not, is a signal that you're on the edge of transformation. The more you stretch yourself beyond what's easy, the more mental and emotional strength you build. You begin to realize you can endure more than you thought. You become adaptable, resilient, and unstoppable, not because life gets easier, but because you become tougher. So when discomfort arises and it will, don't back away. Step forward, embrace it. Every moment you do, you're becoming a stronger, more capable version of yourself. Growth doesn't live in the comfort zone. It waits just beyond it. 5. Live with purpose and meaning. Have you ever paused and asked yourself, why am I doing all this? What's the point of the constant hustle, the endless to-do lists, the chasing after the next thing? It's so easy to fall into the loop of just surviving, waking up, working, handling responsibilities, going to sleep, and doing it all over again. Day after day, week after week, we go through the motions. But underneath it all, a quiet question lingers: am I really living a life that matters to me? Without purpose, life can feel like a treadmill. You're moving, but you're not getting anywhere. You feel disconnected, like something essential is missing, but you can't quite name what it is. The Stoics deeply understood this emptiness. That's why they emphasized living with intention. They believed that real fulfillment doesn't come from external achievements or temporary pleasures. It comes from aligning your actions with your deepest values. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one." In other words, stop waiting for the perfect moment to live meaningfully. Don't delay becoming the person you know you're meant to be. Purpose isn't something you stumble upon in some grand revelation. It's found in your daily decisions, in how you speak, how you treat others, how you spend your time. It's the choice to live with integrity, to act with compassion, to stay true to what you believe is right even when no one's watching. And here's something most people forget: success without purpose feels empty. You can hit every goal on your list, but if it doesn't align with your heart, it won't satisfy you. That's why living with meaning also means defining success for yourself, not according to what society says or what others expect. Maybe your version of success is building a life of simplicity, or maybe it's creating something that lasts, nurturing deep relationships, or finding peace within. Whatever it is, you have to claim it and then live it, one choice at a time. Here's a simple way to start. Take a few minutes today to reflect. Ask yourself, what do I truly value? What kind of person do I want to become? Am I living in alignment with those answers? Write your answers down. Keep them somewhere visible. And when life gets chaotic, as it inevitably does, come back to them. Let them guide you. Let them anchor you, because at the end of the day, we all get the same 24 hours. What separates a meaningful life from an empty one is how intentionally you choose to live those hours. The Stoics didn't waste their precious time on things that didn't align with their values or higher purpose. They lived with unwavering clarity, focusing on what truly mattered: their mission, their duty, and their core principles. In a world full of distractions and noise, they filtered out what was unnecessary and zeroed in on what was meaningful. So today, take a moment to reflect. What gives your life meaning? What makes you feel alive, not just existing, but truly living with depth and direction? Make a quiet promise to yourself that from this moment forward, every action you take, every decision you make, will serve your greater purpose. Life is far too short to drift aimlessly or to simply react to whatever comes your way. Live deliberately, live with purpose, and just watch when you do. Your life begins to transform from the inside out. 6. Reflect daily. On your actions, let's be honest. How often do you really pause and think about your day before it slips away? Most of us are so busy chasing deadlines and crossing tasks off our to-do lists that we collapse into bed at night without a second thought. But here's the truth. Daily reflection is one of the most powerful habits you can build if you're serious about growth. And no, reflection ain't about guilt-tripping yourself or obsessing over mistakes. It's about honest self-awareness, taking a few minutes to step back and review your thoughts, your words, and your actions. By doing this regularly, you begin to see patterns. You recognize what's working, what's not, and where small adjustments can lead to big improvements. Without this habit, it's all too easy to fall into unconscious routines, repeating the same missteps, and missing golden opportunities for growth. The Stoics deeply understood this. They believed that constant self-evaluation was essential for a meaningful life. Epictetus, one of the wisest Stoic teachers, once said, "Know first who you are, and then adorn yourself accordingly." In other words, if you don't take the time to understand yourself, how can you expect to grow into the person you want to be? Think for a moment, when was the last time you truly examined your day? Not just what you did, but how you behaved, how you treated others, how you responded when something didn't go your way. You don't need an hour or a fancy journal. Just a few honest questions before bed can make all the difference. Did I stay true to my values today? What did I do that I'm proud of? And what could I have done better? And it's not just about noticing what went wrong. Daily reflection also strengthens positive habits. Maybe you made a healthy food choice, stayed calm in a tough conversation, or showed kindness when it wasn't easy. Acknowledge it, celebrate it. The more you notice these wins, the more likely you are to repeat them. Marcus Aurelius, the great Roman emperor and Stoic thinker, used his personal writings, his meditations, as a daily tool to reflect on his actions, his mindset, and his intentions. Despite being one of the most powerful men in the world, he understood the importance of pausing and asking, "Am I living with virtue and purpose?" To build this practice into your life, try setting aside just 5 minutes each night. You can write in a notebook, or simply sit quietly and review your day in your mind. Ask yourself, what did I do today that brought me closer to who I want to become? And what can I do differently tomorrow? The goal isn't to be perfect. The goal is to be better than yesterday. Over time, these small reflections create big shifts in how you think, how you act, and how you show up in the world. So tonight, before you sleep, don't just let the day fade away. Look at it, learn from it, and let it guide you toward the best version of yourself, one day at a time. 7. Avoid emotional dependence. Now let's talk about something we all experience but often ignore. How often do you let your emotions be shaped, even controlled, by the actions or opinions of others? Whether it's the approval of a boss, the judgment of a friend, or the silence of a loved one, our emotional state can sometimes feel like it's in someone else's hands. But here's the hard truth. When your happiness, your peace, and your self-worth depend on others, you're not truly free. You're building your inner world on unstable ground, like a house made of sand. And when the tide comes in, when someone disapproves, criticizes, or disappoints you, it all comes crashing down. Imagine for a moment what it would feel like to be emotionally grounded, to walk through your day unshaken by gossip, rejection, or someone else's bad mood. What if your peace was so deeply rooted that nothing and no one could take it from you? That's exactly what the Stoics taught. Emotional independence is one of their most powerful lessons. Epictetus said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." The idea is simple, yet transformative. Your thoughts, your choices, and your reactions are always within your control. Everything else, what others say, think, or do, is not. And yet, so many of us hand over our emotional keys without realizing it. Think back to the last time someone's words ruined your day. Or when you felt anxious because you were waiting for someone's approval. What if you could change that pattern? The first step is awareness. Notice when your emotions rise or fall based on someone else's behavior. Ask yourself, am I letting this person's actions control my peace? Once you see it clearly, you can start to take your power back. Emotional independence doesn't mean shutting people out or becoming cold. It means learning to stand tall in your own worth, no matter what others do. It's about being kind without needing validation, strong without needing applause, and steady even when others are not. The Stoics didn't chase after praise or fear criticism. They lived according to their values, and they let their inner compass, not public opinion, guide them. And the result? Emotional strength, uncheckable calm, true freedom. So the next time someone disappoints you, pauses to long to reply, or says something hurtful, pause, breathe, remind yourself that their behavior belongs to them, your peace, that belongs to you. 7. Avoid emotional dependency. Having emotional dependence doesn't mean shutting yourself off from others or becoming cold and detached. On the contrary, it's about preserving your inner stability while still allowing yourself to care deeply. It's about finding that delicate balance where you can be compassionate and supportive without sacrificing your own peace of mind. So, how do you begin cultivating emotional independence? Start by becoming aware of how much of your emotional state depends on external validation. Ask yourself, what do I truly need to feel good about myself? What can I control that brings me peace? The moment you begin to ask these questions honestly, you begin to reclaim your personal power. The next step is to practice self-compassion to affirm your worth without waiting for approval from the outside world. Nurture a sense of fulfillment that comes from within, not from what others say or do. Because once you stop chasing constant validation, you free yourself to live with authenticity and quiet confidence. The Stoics also advised taking time to reflect on your emotions every day. Ask yourself, how did I respond emotionally today? Was I in control of my reactions, or did I let external events dictate how I felt? These small reflections, practiced regularly, help you break free from emotional dependence and grow stronger with each passing day. Emotional independence doesn't mean becoming indifferent to people. It means knowing that your happiness and self-worth aren't tied to their opinions or actions. The more you practice this, the more you'll develop an unshakable sense of inner strength and clarity, regardless of the chaos around you. 8. Master your emotions. Don't let them master you. All experience emotions: joy, anger, sadness, fear. They're a natural part of being human. But here's the deeper question. How often do you let your emotions control your actions? How often do you act in the heat of the moment, only to regret it later? The Stoics didn't view emotions as enemies. They understood that feelings arise automatically, but what matters is how we respond. Their wisdom teaches us that while we may not control the first wave of emotion, we always have the power to choose our next step. This is the heart of emotional intelligence, the ability to recognize, understand, and manage your emotions in a way that supports your values instead of sabotaging them. When we allow our emotions to take over, we often make rash decisions driven by impulse rather than reason. Think about how many times you've spoken out of anger or acted from fear, only to realize later it didn't serve your goals or reflect your true self. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. That quality includes your emotional responses." If we don't train ourselves to respond wisely, our emotions may steer us far from the life we truly want to live. But mastering your emotions doesn't mean suppressing them or pretending they don't exist. It means acknowledging them, then choosing your response with clarity and intention. Let's say you feel anger rising. Instead of snapping or acting out, take a moment to breathe. Ask yourself, why am I angry? Is this worth reacting to? What would a calm, thoughtful response look like? The Stoics also emphasized perspective. When emotions flare up, ask, is this really as serious as I think it is? Will it still matter a week or a year from now? That shift in perspective often softens the emotional grip and returns you to a more grounded state of mind. Take some time today to reflect on your emotional patterns. Are there moments when your emotions lead your decisions instead of your values? Where in your life do you feel most reactive? The more aware you become, the more control you gain. Mastering your emotions is not a quick fix, it's a lifelong practice. But every time you pause instead of reacting, every time you choose calm over chaos, you're strengthening your emotional discipline. Emotions are a part of you, but they don't have to define you. With practice, you can become the one steering your emotional ship, not a passenger tossed by the storm. And as you continue this journey, you'll discover just how much clarity and power lies in emotional mastery. 9. Learn to live with less and appreciate more. 9. Learn to live with less and appreciate more in today's fast-paced, always connected world. It's easy to get swept away by distractions, the constant noise, the endless notifications, the urge to accumulate more. But have you ever paused to wonder, what is all this really costing you? Your time, your attention, your inner peace. Living simply isn't about denying yourself pleasures. It's about consciously choosing to free yourself from the chaos that clutters your mind, your environment, and your soul. It's about creating space for clarity, for meaning, for joy. The Stoics understood this deeply. They believed happiness was not found in indulgence or abundance, but in simplicity and self-restraint. They practiced austerity not out of punishment, but out of wisdom. To them, luxury was not a sign of success, but often a distraction from what truly matters. Rather than chasing after possessions or recognition, they cultivated inner virtues, wisdom, courage, justice, and self-control. These weren't just ideals. They were the building blocks of a meaningful life. When you live with less, you don't just reduce stress, you begin to see what's truly valuable. Think about your own life for a moment. The things you've bought, the experiences you've chased. How many of them brought you true, lasting joy? and how many were fleeting, tied to trends, impulses, or the pressure to keep up with others. The truth is, we often gather things hoping they'll fill a void, but all too often, they only fill our shelves, not our hearts. The Stoics taught that by letting go of what is unnecessary, we make space for what is essential. Not just physical space, but emotional and spiritual space as well. When we strip away the non-essential, we begin to notice life's quiet beauty, the laughter of a friend, a moment of stillness at sunrise, the calm of a mind at peace. We begin to see that richness isn't about having more, it's about needing less. This doesn't mean you must give everything away and live in a cave. It simply means taking a more mindful look at what you've allowed into your life. Ask yourself, are these things supporting the person I want to become? Or are they slowly pulling me away from my values? Living simply might start with decluttering your home, but it can go much deeper. It can mean simplifying your calendar, saying no to commitments that drain you, letting go of relationships that no longer align with your growth, or learning to fully appreciate what you already have, instead of constantly chasing what's next. Each time you choose less, you gain something more valuable: presence, gratitude, peace. The Stoics reminded us that true wealth is not measured by how much you possess, but by how little you truly need. It's found in freedom, not the freedom to do whatever you want, but the freedom to focus on what actually matters. And one of the most powerful reminders of this is memento mori. Remember that you will die. At first glance, this may sound dark or uncomfortable, but the Stoics didn't view it that way. They saw it as a profound and empowering truth, a wake-up call to stop delaying the life you're meant to live, to stop waiting for someday, because the truth is, our time is finite. Life doesn't offer a replay button. Every moment spent chasing meaningless things or avoiding difficult conversations is a moment we never get back. But there's freedom in this realization. It pushes us to act now, to speak the words we've been holding back, to take the leap we've been afraid of, to live not tomorrow, but today. By contemplating death, the Stoics weren't encouraging fear, they were encouraging clarity. When we remember that nothing lasts forever, we start to value what's right in front of us. We stop wasting time on petty worries and begin to make room for love, purpose, and truth. Ask yourself honestly, if I truly embraced the idea that life is short, how would I live differently? Would I let go of grudges? Would I finally pursue that passion project? Would I prioritize time with those I love instead of chasing status or wealth? Because in the end, it's not about how long we live, it's about how intentionally we live. And that kind of life starts with courage. The Stoics believed we should live as if today were our last, not with fear, but with fierce presence, with our eyes open, our hearts engaged, and our actions aligned with our deepest values. So today, take a moment to pause, breathe, reflect, ask yourself what truly matters, and then give your energy, your time, and your soul to those things. As we close today's reflection, remember, fulfillment isn't born from drastic change, it's built through quiet, consistent practice. The Stoic path is one of small daily decisions, choosing presence over distraction, virtue over comfort, simplicity over excess. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to be willing to take that next small step toward peace, toward purpose, toward a life that feels whole. So choose one habit that resonated with you today. Maybe it's embracing discomfort for growth. Maybe it's letting go of clutter. Or be it simply remembering that your time is precious and acting like it. Whatever it is, begin now. Don't wait for the perfect time. This is the perfect time. And if today's message spoke to you, I invite you to like, share, and subscribe. Help spread this calm, quiet power of Stoicism to others who may need it. I'd love to hear how you're applying these ideas. So feel free to leave a comment and share your journey. Thank you, as always.